So welcome to our volunteer legislative breakfast this morning. We have a really good crowd here today. We're going to do it up a little differently this year. So right now, I'd like to introduce the chairperson of the Lunenburg Council on Aging, Debbie Lincoln.
Well, thank you. Good morning and happy Halloween. Thank you all for coming this morning. We have 40 volunteers that help us out at the Eagle House. We're so extraordinarily fortunate to have them. In fiscal year 2022, they gave us 1,180 3/4 hours. And that equates to $16,825.69 at minimum wage. And they are worth way more than minimum wage. We have people that do Meals on Wheels, work in our library. We have handyman services, friendly phone calls, gardening, kitchen help, Council on Aging members, Eagle House supporters. We have our Board of Selectmen liaison. We have program coordinators for bingo, cribbage, and pitch. And of course, our police and fire who do shoveling, Save for Seniors, and our experts at the grill. So, if I've forgotten anybody, I apologize, but would you please stand for a round of applause if you have been a volunteer for us. So very much from the bottom of our hearts. We could not run the Eagle House without your support. So thank you very much. I think it's time for breakfast. So please go ahead and start. I guess we're going to start with the closest table right there and work ourselves around the room. And please stick around after breakfast. We have some very special presentations.
Police and fire can start. Just in case. Okay, while everybody's enjoying their breakfast, I just want to thank the Eagle House supporters and Senator John Cronin for sponsoring the breakfast this morning. Can we give them all a big round of applause? And Cormier Catering, they do such a great job every year for us. They're like our official caterer. So what I want to do is start with a couple of special awards. As you know, we used to give out certificates to every single volunteer. And our volunteers are a special breed. They don't want to be thanked. They don't want to come to the breakfast. They don't want to be treated special. So we always had a big packet of volunteer certificates that were never picked up every year. They just said, we just want to do this and it's fine. So what we decide to do from now on is give everybody a beautiful catered breakfast. And we give out 2 special awards, which we've done for quite a few years now. The first award that I'm going to give out today is, we call it the Tony the Tiger Award. And this award is given to a volunteer. You can only get it once in your lifetime because we have so many volunteers that rack up the hours every year. And it's for the person who gave the most hours during fiscal year 22. And this year, the lucky recipient of the Tony the Tiger Award is a Meals on Wheels driver, and that's Cindy Romano, and she gave 128 hours driving Meals on Wheels. Cindy, you want to come up?
Rookie. you move.
I don't even like that.
No.
Thank you so much.
Like a newborn in homes.
The next award is something that is earned over time. So Jean Hobbs used to be the chairperson of the Council on Aging. She came up with this award. It's for every time you reach the 500-hour plateau of volunteer hours, you get what they call the Golden Eagle Award, and it's a nice little lapel pin. And it takes a while to get there. And I've been pushing for this person to reach it every year. He's just that much below it, that much below it. And finally, Walter Orlow has reached 560.75 hours. Thank you, Walter. Meals on Wheels driver.
He needs to shrink. There we go. Congratulations.
Thank you, Walter. I'd like to introduce our town manager, Heather Lemieux, and she has a, excuse me, what is that flag? She wants to introduce some special guests with a special presentation today. Heather.
Thank you, Sue. So I have the honor of introducing Senator Cronin today, but first I would like to thank Senator Cronin, Representative Kushmer, and Representative Sina, who's not here today, for submitting this earmark on behalf of the town and advocating through the state budget process so that we receive these funds to do the engineering and design and construction for this new ADA patio. I'd also like to thank Sue Doherty for all her support and work on trying to get all the available resources for this project. She continues to do that every day. And also for the Council on Aging for all their support for this project and moving it forward. Our DPW Director, Phil Bernard, who's not here today, and our Facilities Director, who's also worked on this project. So without further ado, Senator Cronin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. For those of you who I haven't met or don't know me, I'm John Cronin, and I've got the privilege to serve as a state senator for 11 cities and towns in north central Massachusetts, Fitchburg, Leominster, Clinton, and most important, my hometown of Lunenburg. So, Lunenburg is such a special place to me. It's where I grew up. It's where my grandfather raised his family, and my dad grew up. And I remember on election night in 2020, my election I won by a little over 1% of the vote, and things were just about even, and all we were waiting for was the results from Lunenburg to come in. So it was, Lunenburg was either going to sink me or send me to the state senate, and I'm really grateful that it worked out and I had the ability to serve this community and deliver for this community. Over the last fiscal year, we've increased funding to Lunenburg Public Schools by $2 million. And we have opportunities in the state budget and really throughout the legislative session to find opportunities to bring more resources to town. This $100,000 that I was able to work with Mike Kushmer on helps the town out in times of tight budgets. And if I could leave you all with just kind of one thought today, it's that my office, Mike Kushmer's office, and we are here to help you. And we know that both during the pandemic and emerging out of the pandemic, feeling the pain of inflation, we know nobody is impacted more or hurt more by those overarching forces in our senior community. So whether it is access to heating assistance or food, we're going to continue to have open office hours here. So if you or a family member or a friend need help, we are here to connect you with services, and we will do everything we can to deliver for you and make sure this community gets through stronger. With that, I would just like to bring up my partner in the legislature, who I have the privilege to represent Lunenburg with, Representative Mike Kushmarek.
So everyone, thank you for having me here this morning, and most importantly, and I think the theme here today is gratitude for those who serve. This building, this center in the Eagle House doesn't happen without the volunteers who work tirelessly throughout the year, who work to get us through the pandemic these past 2 years, and come out in many ways stronger and closer as a community. That's because of you. That doesn't happen here without you, the volunteers, and the incredible staff who work each and every day, and of course your local town leadership from your selects, board members, and your town manager. Just an incredibly capable and competent team who work each and every day with the legislature to make sure that we can deliver critical resources back to the community. So thanks to our local leadership for being here today and all the work that you do in your partnership. And I think Senator Cronin just said it so well of all too often you hear elected officials and you think, oh God, all right, what do they want? And it's usually around election time, but more importantly, and I think the message here today is really take advantage of us. Use us however you can. We are here to serve you. We are here to listen to you. So whether it is over heating assistance, fuel assistance at this time of year, if it's over housing needs, or it's just over navigating any state office. And even if it isn't a state office, whether it's a federal issue, I know Beth Walsh from Senator Cronin's team has helped some folks. It was actually a federal issue. We can help connect you to any offices, whether it's local, state, or federal. So please don't hesitate to reach out at any time. Rebecca Hess in my office is here today as well. And please don't be a stranger, and we'll make sure we do the same. So with that, I think we have some certificates here today to really thank the many volunteers here. Senator Cronin, do you want to read your?
Sure, absolutely. Sue, can you come forward?
Sure.
And I don't know if you want to have any other staff come forward, but on behalf of the Massachusetts Senate, we know we've got issues handing out certificates, I guess, earlier, but this is for you, and I hope it has a place of honor here at the Senior Center, but it is to recognize and say thank you to everybody who stood up earlier, and everybody who has helped this community get through really the past 2 years, which have been, had some unprecedented challenges. So on behalf of the Senate, it's my privilege to present this citation to you. So.
Thank you very much.
We have some more
And so on behalf of the House of Representatives, signed by the Speaker of the House and presented in Boston, this is a certificate of appreciation from the House. So you hit bicameral support today.
I know. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So the other reason why we're here today is, we are undertaking a large project out back here with the recreation area. I mean, we have a beautiful spot out there, but it's not quite safe to use and walk on or ADA compliable. So we've been striving to come up with a plan to make it usable for everybody, no matter what your disability is. And we've done a lot of work. We've got plans, and the capital plan has approved us for $100,000. And the state Senate has also given us a check for $100,000 to go towards this project. And I want to thank everybody who was involved in that. Senator Cronin, Representative Kushmarek, Heather Lemieux, town selectmen for helping push that along. That is really great. Thank you so much. Now I think Senator Cronin Cronin, did you want to have questions, have people ask questions, or?
Only if they're softballs or easy ones.
Oh, I don't know, we have a mixed bag here today.
What do I use for hair products?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll let you take over.
Sure, happy to take any questions. We'll also be working around the tables as well. But one thing I would like to do is just ask everybody to come up for a picture.
Okay.
And with the citations for appreciation.
Yep. Deb?
Yes, I don't think it's going to be softball, I'm sorry to say. I'm a little bit glad you're also listening. The municipal choice bill is now tried to go through the legislature 12 or 13 times and still has not emerged. So can you please talk to us about the status of that, and if you think you might be able to get it to actually get you a vote?
Absolutely. So the Muni Choice Bill is really, it allows, and essentially at the heart of it, what it does is it makes it easier for municipalities to purchase from private investor-owned utilities and create a municipal power or light company. So this was previously filed for the first time by then Representative DiNatale, my predecessor, in the legislature, and he filed it 4 times from 2008 through 2016, coming on the heels of the ice storm. And this was really a response to Unitil in particular, but really realizing that investor-owned utilities across the state often engage in predatory practices of rate increases with real no recourse for you, the ratepayers, both. Particularly, I think our senior community knows better than anyone. You're on a fixed income, so many of you. And every year, Unitil, as well as the other 3 major utility providers, and ask for anything from a 10% increase on a good year, and in years like this one, we know that Leominster is seeing 47% increase. And Unitil has not yet put out their seasonal increase, and it looks like it's going to be a month-to-month increase throughout this winter. And so to combat that bill was filed a little over a decade ago, and when Representative DiNatale left the legislature in 2016, the bill was not refiled again in the House until Senator Cronin and I filed it earlier last year. And so because it was left dormant for so long, it wasn't a refile anymore. The bill hadn't been rewritten, it hadn't been modernized to react to all of the other energy and environmental-based changes that had occurred over the previous 6 years. So we had to rewrite the bill. We submitted it for the first time again in 2021. And it received a hearing, but I think more importantly, we met with the chairs of telecommunications, utilities, and energy, who really went through and did a deep dive in the bill with us. And Chairman Roy really sat back and gave substantive feedback of, all right, here's where I think we need to change this bill to make it conform better to Massachusetts general law. And at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're essentially taking on big energy and big oil. They have a lot of money, a lot of staff to combat everything that we're doing. And this is our first time figuring out where are the landmines here. And so I think over the past 2 years, we've learned a lot, but we've also changed some of the bill and plan to change some of the bill. But what we're also planning on doing is getting an earmark to do a feasibility study and analysis, which will help us engage in that next critical aspect of moving forward in the process of ensuring that, 1, is feasible for municipalities, but 2, finding out what the cost would be to municipalities. And thirdly, and I think most importantly, would it be best for each municipality to go at it alone? So in this case, Unitil only has 4 communities, Fitchburg, Ashby, Townsend, and Lunenburg. Or would it be best for us to go as a group of 4 municipalities? Would it be cheaper, more advantageous for everybody, more advantageous for one or multiple communities at the expense of another? That's what we need to figure out, because before we pass this legislation, what we want to do is make sure that we're filing it to have a net benefit to the residents and the ratepayers, but we need to make sure that there are no unintended consequences there, that if we pass this legislation, that it doesn't then get more expensive as a municipal power source. So this feasibility study will then allow us to move forward with that legislation and say, we've proved the concepts. So here's your proof of concepts, and here's why this legislation will work. So we need to do both of those things simultaneously. And I think that's the progress we've been able to make, is determine what those critical next steps were. Because when it was filed back in 2008, there was zero movement from 2008 to 2016, and really maybe zero promise of actually getting it across the finish line. It was just pretty much staunch opposition. I think we've been able to start to amass some critical support in the legislature, both from our colleagues as well as from leadership. It's an uphill battle. I'm not promising this thing will be done in the next 18 months. Again, we're taking on some of the largest and most well-resourced lobbyists in the entire country. And we've essentially declared open war on them. So we're in it for the long haul, and we're looking forward to ensuring that we can take those next critical steps over the next 12 to 18 months.
Thank you.
Absolutely.